Hey guys, Jman Seductions on the Jzone here with a video, an AMA on One Piece, The Will of D. The Will of D is a very mysterious element of One Piece that Oda has continually tried to tease us with. In SBS's, some people have stated, what is the Will of D? Why does Luffy have D in his name? And Oda said it's one of the mysteries that will be revealed later on in the story. First off, I'll start by mentioning some known users of the Will of D, the dead ones and the alive ones. Obviously the alive ones would be Luffy himself, Luffy's dad, Dragon, Monkey, the Garp. Garp's obviously Luffy's grandfather, those two related, and also Blackbeard, who's Marshall D. Teach. The dead users of the Will of D, obviously one of my favourite characters, Ace, Gold D. Roger, Portus D. Rouge, which is Ace's mother, if you must know, Jargle D. Salo, I think his name was, that was the Vice Admiral that was really close friends to Robin in the tragic flashback she had. A few things that we do know about the Will of D so far is that some people thought that Gold D. Roger was actually Gold Roger, when it was obviously it's Gold D. Roger, G-O-L and then a D and Roger. And that was Roger even stated this in the flashback that we saw with him and Whitebeard during the Marineford War. Roger actually told Whitebeard about what the Will of D is and what it's about, but you know how it is, Oda's like, no, you guys are going to probably find this out 7 years later, and you're going to have to remember this one moment, and he wonders why he gets the same obvious questions in the SPSs. But yeah, that's like one of the things we know. Robin has actually stated the Will of D a few times. She said it once, she was talking about it one time during the Alabasta arc, you know, because Robin's all to do with the pornoglyphs. She's talking about it with Rayleigh, because they were talking about the Void Century, and obviously since Robin's a historian of the crew, there's going to be a lot of correlations with her and finding out what the Will of D is. So we do know that Robin will probably be the one in the crew that's most involved in masking this mystery, because I don't think Luffy even cares, or because you know he's so carefree and all the time, and I don't think the other crewmates are too aware of this and what significance the D has. Something that's really interesting to know is that all of the people that possess the Will of D actually died smiling. Remember back at Marineford, Ace was actually, when he died, he was dying smiling. Same with Gold D. Roger. Luffy at Logtown, he was just like, he had a smile on his face when he knew he could have potentially died at that moment if he weren't saved. Salo, I can't say his name properly, sorry guys, you know, Robin's friend, the Vice Admiral, he died laughing and smiling too. So did Portus D. Rouge, I mean Ace's mother. All of these people, the Will of D, have this weird thing about dying smiling, so I don't know what that has to do with anything. One of the gurus actually stated that the Will of D means danger, and the Will of D seems to be an important thing every time there seems to be a new era or a new change in One Piece. One of the things that actually really does intrigue me about the Will of D, it seems that with the Will of D, the Marines and the people in the government like Sengoku are aware of the Will of D, and they seem to know the things behind it, because Sengoku showed interest in Ace and wanted him to become a Shibukai back when he was with the Spade Pirates, because he knew of the Will of D and the power of it. So it's just weird. I really do want to know what it is. Initially when I heard of the Will of D, I thought the Will of D would have to do with conquering King Haki, or King's Disposition Haki, you know, the one where you're all hacked out, where you can just look at people or give them a blinding stare and they can all get knocked out. Luffy displayed this in one of the recent chapters where he knocked out 50,000 weak-ass fishmen. So, I mean, I thought it originally had to do with that, because, you know, King's Disposition's pretty strong move, but then I realised that it couldn't have to do with that, because if it did, why wouldn't Shanks have the Will of D? Why wouldn't he? Because Shanks went onto Whitebeard's ship and he knocked out dozens of people in Whitebeard's crew. So that means he has the Conquering King or King's Disposition Haki. So why wouldn't he have the Will of D? So that was my initial theory about what it was about, but that was obviously ages ago before I realized that theory was flawed. And that was probably I had that theory the first time we actually saw Shanks and Whitebeard interact with each other when he went to his crew. The only other thing I could really think of was that the people that have the Will of D must be descendants of people, a group of people from the past, from the void history, which probably has a lot to do with the poneglyphs, that massive weapon of destruction from the past as well. Maybe the people that inherited the Will of D are somewhat responsible for that massive weapon. I have no idea, but all of them, I mean, the three of the people that possess the Will of D that are alive are related to Luffy, so that's what's kind of confusing me. I hope the Will of D isn't something stupid like, oh, the Will of D makes you able to the people around you gain courage because of the way you are. I hope it's not something really stupid and cheesy like that. I mean, it's the same thing for the One Piece in general. Like, if I don't mind the One Piece being about friendship and all that stuff, as long as it's something that's actually tangible and that people can touch. The Will of D, I don't mind it having to do with that sort of, you know, cliched, oh, courage and all that stuff, but I want it to be something that's really interesting that will kind of throw us off as well. But I mean, right now, I mean, there's not a lot to go on in the Will of D. Like, so what are your thoughts? What theories do you have about what the Will of D could be? Now I'm going to end this video off with crazy theories. Kind of got this off of X71 because he does this a lot. The crazy theory I'm going to mention today is Sabo has the Renin gun, and Sabo created everybody, and Sabo created the people with the Will of D, and the Will of Ds, they all possess Sharingans and they're able to copy other people's moves. That was a crazy theory for today. But I'm just joking. That was a horrible theory. That's why it's a crazy theory. But anyway, what are your thoughts? What do you think the Will of D is? Are you more informative than me? Do you have any more suggestions? Because really, I can't. This is one of those things where I can't actually come up with a lot of theories. It's so ambiguous and we don't know a lot to it. And obviously, One Piece is we're only just over halfway through the story, so there's a lot more for Oda to show. So what are your thoughts? What do you think it is? Do you think Oda is annoying because during Marineford he cut off that sort of flashback where Whitebeard was talking about what the Will of D is? Anyway, this has been J-Man's Productions on the J-Zone. Live and learn, good luck and God bless. And I'm gonna be king of the pirates in 10 years. Peace.